Welcome to the Builders of Authority podcast, a show committed to helping you build authority for your brand. In the realm of business and personal branding, authority stands as a cornerstone. Authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. So join us as we build something remarkable together. And now, here's your host, Adam McChesney.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Builders of Authority podcast. Our title sponsor of the podcast is Go High Level, also known as GHL. GHL is the first ever all-in-one platform to give you the tools, support, and resources you need to succeed and crush your marketing goals. Personally, I've used this software since 2020. It's been a game changer for my business and our clients. If you're looking to level up, then this is the platform to use. You can find a link for a free and extended 30-day trial with tons of our bonuses in the show notes, so take advantage of this opportunity. We have an in-person guest today at a new venue. Adventure Unknown AU is here in Fenton, Missouri, a place that I've been a member at the Business and Travel Club here that I joined back in August. An incredible place, community, and much more. Today's episode specifically is going to be a really cool episode. We have a former NHL player and local St. Louis resident, and a St. Louis Blues former player, someone who I remember watching growing up for the Blues, and since then listened to him on the radio, podcast, and seen him do some pretty awesome stuff in the St. Louis community. My guest today is Cam Janssen. Cam, welcome to the show.
That was a good intro, man. You did good on that.
I try to do my homework on those, man. I try to position it well, so I'm glad I got your approval.
Yeah, well, I get the game. You know,
yeah.
Anytime you got to read a long thing out, like live reads or whatever, I butchered them.
Yeah.
But then people laugh at you, and then if you're entertaining people, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you did good.
Thanks for coming on, man, and cheers.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
Yeah, cheers.
Head for the mountains.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I know a lot of people obviously know who you are, but kind of tell people just a little bit about your story, and then we'll get into some of the stuff you're working on right now, man.
I'm from way out in the middle of the woods in Pacific, Missouri, but I went to Eureka High School. But I lived way out there, and my dad's a waterproofer. My mom worked at Clayton Jail for a while, but we grew up, blue collar, and my mom and dad took me to Blues games, and I got obsessed with it. I'm the first generation hockey player in the family, and we had no idea what we were doing, and we just started rollerblading in the basement, having these games. When my buddies would come over, we just play hockey in the basement, rip pucks, shoot, stick handle, do all this stuff, check each other into the concrete, slabs on the side of the wall, which probably gave us concussions at an early age. And, you break a window, and then all of a sudden you hear my dad go, dun, 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 come downstairs, yell at us for a little bit, and then clean up the mess, and we just keep playing. So that's how I got into hockey. And so I just kind of started making teams. I mean, really, I started playing. I played every sport. I wrestled. I played football for a year, cross country, track, everything. So I was a pretty good athlete, but I loved hockey, and I just became obsessed with it. And my mom and dad got me into the local, Huron Hockey School, which is right down the road. Then I went to Chesterfield when it opened up, and then right to AAA Blues. So then I was traveling all over the United States and North America at a young age. We had no idea what the hell we're doing. Agents are coming up to my dad and stuff like that. Like, we're going to represent your kid. He's going to get drafted and all this stuff. So I really just put my head down and really did my thing. And it just happened so quick. Boom, boom, boom. I just started making all these teams. And all of a sudden I get drafted into the Ontario Hockey League, which I didn't even know what the hell it was. Everybody's like, what? Ontario? I'm like, Eskimos up there in Canada? Like, we don't, people down here really don't know, especially as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to move to Canada at a young age.
How old?
16, 17 years old.
Wow.
I was lucky enough to play juniors here for a year because the St. Louis Sting was local, or else I would have been left at a really young age. I remember my dad dropping me off at juniors. I'm playing against guys in beards because I didn't have my driver's license. And I'm fighting everybody. I'm fighting all the big boys, Yeah. I loved it. So I just started making teams. So I had to move to Canada and just try to simplify everything. I got drafted by the Devils, then made that team, and then got traded to the Blues, and went back to the Devils again, and then came back here and got to kind of figure out what I want to do after hockey. So, in a short story, that's kind of how it went down. It's really crazy.
That is awesome. Yeah, I've heard your story about how you went up to Canada, played a little bit, and then didn't you go and you played in You play in London too?
Well, I played in Nottingham at the very end of my career. Yeah, that was cool too. Yeah. They treated us great up there. I worked hard for them.
Yeah.
The fans and stuff.
That's awesome. So I'm always interested in like kind of knowing like who you were in hockey and things like that. How did you kind of get, you mentioned from a young age just fighting the guys. How did you kind of get that? I would like call it like brand right now, right? Where it's like, that's who I am.
Blood. Yeah. Bloodlines. Yeah. You don't teach that. Like that's either you have it or you don't. I mean, I was fighting my brother. He's 18 months older than me. So once I start hitting puberty, I'm like, oh, I want to, psycho. I'm a psycho. I got to control it. Like my dad's like, okay, what are we going to do with him? Okay, getting him in hockey. So I was out, and back then, man, I was crushing guys.
Yeah.
And then once I got old enough to start fighting, I was the youngest kid on the team by like 2 years. And I'm fighting everybody and, getting beat up here and there. And then like my shoulder would rip out and you have to fix that. But I just kept doing it. And, you still got to play the game. Like I was able to hit guys. I was athletic enough to be able to get in and hit guys consistently. And so I just started, everybody's like, who is this fucking kid? Like, who is he? Yeah. Who is he? This kid from Eureka, like, who is he? And so it just went from boom, boom, boom. But I was obsessed with it and I was fearless. Fearless. And that, that goes a long way. Yeah. So if you have the athletic ability and you're willing to just work, like I was working out in gyms. My dad we didn't have much money and he's still like, people would take care of me. My dad dropped me off at Finney's MMA at 16 years old. He's like, get in there. I paid for it. Just get in there. And they took care of me for years. Finney, I'll give you a little shout out. But I went in there and started hockey fighting and wrestling around and fighting all these killers. They're the nicest guys in the world, by the way. It's so intimidating walking in there. You see guys and they're all got cauliflower here and you're like, whoa, like what is going on here? And then I just did all this stuff and it started working out. But it wasn't all like, I went through a lot too. It just so many different things, so many different emotions trying to like playing here. Like I'm sleeping. I know I have to fight this guy that's 6'7" and he's 260 pounds. My family's all there, girlfriends or whatever the hell. And I'm like, is this guy going to knock me out in front of everybody, in front of all my family at home? You're like that kind of, it just ages you, dude. Yeah. So it was stressful.
Well, I can imagine that. And I can even imagine, like I played college soccer, but I always try to think in like your instance of like, if I had to come back and like City's a team now and I was playing for City, like how was that? I mean, it's one thing to play for the Devils, but it's another thing to play in your hometown where like every single night you got freaking people everywhere.
And all my buddies, I'd take them in. They were just they were like parking underneath the building. They're high-fiving everybody, walking in, chirping the coach. Like I just took advantage of the situation big time. They'd all go to my games. Like I'd have so many people there and it was just, and then we all party at the end. They'd all wait for me and then we go out and party, go to Harry's. Harry's was cool back in the day. We just do our thing. I was making good money. Like once you don't have any money and you never really did, so you don't know anything about it. And all of a sudden you're making like, $600,000 just like that. They gave me a couple $100,000 bonus for getting drafted. And I'm like, I'm wealthy. Yeah. No, you're not. No, you're not. But you don't know, I'm like, no, I'm spending some money. Yeah. So like you get a little bit of money, you got some fame, you're in a fishbowl here. It became stressful.
I believe it.
It did. But I took advantage of every moment, truly did. And, I was the first one ever to make it, being born and raised here. So it took from 67 when the Blues came here to 2005, my first NHL game, for a kid to be born and raised, go through the system, Eureka High School, whatever, to make the NHL and play for the Blues. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to have that in your back pocket.
Yeah. So how old were you when you got here to St. Louis?
About 24. Okay. I made the NHL young. Like we had a lockout in I was 20 years old playing professionally, but it was a lockout year in 2004. I would have probably got called up that year. So I would have been like 20 years old. It's a heavyweight at 5'11". I'm not a big guy. Yeah. I'm big now because I drink too much beer. Yeah. But I was like 210. Yeah. I'm 250 now. Yeah. So 5'11", 210, fighting guys that are 270. It was tough. Yeah. God, it ages you.
Man. Oh, I can believe it.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's all good.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So what have you been up to? I know you obviously mentioned you were in Nottingham for a little bit. You came back to St. Louis. What's been that life after hockey journey?
Well, that was a confusing moment. Like, I didn't know, what am I? Like, all of a sudden it just stops. And I'm like, damn. Like, what am I? I have a 9th grade education. I quit high school. I just quit high school. So I have no education except for my own. Okay. So if you want to quiz me on stuff that's going on in current events, like, let's go. Right? Like, I do my own homework. I don't need somebody to teach me, but it would be nice to go back to college and have a history teacher go back and just listen to what they have to say and kind of go back and forth. Like now I love history and stuff so much to where like I go back in high school. I'm like, I was so dedicated to hockey. I didn't give a shit what anybody just said. Now I like to go back and just talk to my history teachers, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about now? So anyway, I'm like, what am I going to do? So like, okay, let me go to Nottingham, England and play a year with this team. My buddies played over there. It's awesome. Nottingham Panthers, a little shout out. Awesome. The people there were so cool. They loved Kate and I worked hard for them and it was cool. But then I come back and I'm like, what do I do? So ESPN radio gave me a tryout to go on the fast lane, which is like the biggest, and I'm like, I don't even watch sports. They threw me in the mix. I haven't watched sports since I was a kid because I'm just thinking about myself.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care about anything else but what I was doing, anything else. So I'm like, boom, now you're a radio guy. Go talk about the Cardinals bullpen. What? Or, the Jets secondary defense. I'm like, no, I have no idea. Now I'm into it.
Yeah.
But I first started, I'm like, okay. And so I didn't get the job there, but then 590 came in, they hired me. I had my own show. I had a show with 5 other people on at 590 The Fan. And then I kind of figured it out. Now I'm watching. Now I can have opinion. Now I'm like, what's up? Okay. Then I started a podcast with Andy Strickland, right? In 2019 when the Blues won. Thank God we did it when we did. Everybody's like, oh, you're going to try to be like Spittin' Chicklets. No, we'll be our own thing.
Yeah.
And now it's been very successful. And like, it's like a 0.5% of podcasts that actually really make money and you could live off of it. Yeah. Andy and I are one of the few and we're pretty excited, but we work hard on it. So I kind of just built that up and did radio, had my own radio show and stuff like that. Now I started hosting radio shows and I do hits around here and there. The Blues are having me do Blues radio. Because Joey Vitale's moving over to TV, so I'm starting to travel with the team and doing Blues radio with Chris Kerber. So it's just all kind of coming together, But no one really, I had to kind of do my own thing. Like 590 was kind of like the management was goofy. Like it's historic throughout the radio waves here in St. Louis. You want to listen to how that all went down, but you learn from it. Like I'm easy to deal with. Like I know how to be a teammate, so I just learned from it. And was able to was able to entertain people. And so then you get confidence and then you start these little things and now it's endless, Yeah. It doesn't cost me money to go entertain somebody if they want to put a camera in my face and pump up something or do a pod or whatever.
Yeah.
So
no, that's really cool. I've just seen, so like I started listening to you, I think it was like 2016 when I started listening to you on 590 with one of those shows. Then I've just kind of followed you ever
morphed
since.
all over the place, yeah.
And it's just kind of one of those things where you're just like, okay, you can clearly see from a distance where it's just like, oh, Cam started to like insert himself and see these new opportunities, whether it's like the personality stuff, whether it's your involvement with the Blues or just your own podcast. Now you're like, oh, he's definitely like finding these little niches to take advantage of what you built on from your career and your personality and your connections.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm pretty hardcore. So it's like, like I got to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I can't rely on somebody to say, hey, we're going to hire, because I'm a little different when it comes to that. Like I'm pretty, I don't like to tweet stuff too much with social media because I just sort of talk about it.
Yeah.
I could explain myself so much better if we're shooting the shit this way or me tweeting something out. Here's my opinion. People, I just don't like doing that. So I could be a lot more loud on social media, but I don't want the backlash on it.
Yeah,
I just don't. I'd rather just do these kind of things and build it up slower than be a psycho on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You get my drift on that?
No,
or even not a psycho, but just have my opinion. I'm going to tweet my opinion out. No.
Yeah.
I'll come on here and tell you.
Well, I think like, so there's like the influencer type model of that where it's like, hey, I'm gonna go be and have all these followers and do all these different things and get all these engagements, or there's like, hey, I'm gonna do the things that like I enjoy doing that actually push the needle forward.
Yes.
When you go do those community events, when you go do the things with those brands here in St. Louis, people are like, man, that's freaking Cam Janssen. Like, I already have that know, like, and trust factor, and Cam's awesome. So like it helps build the reputation.
It does. And it's, again, social media, like you could really, if I really wanted to get way more followers, like I could.
Oh yeah.
And just be like, and I just don't do, I hate it. I actually hate, that's like the worst part about this whole thing is posting things and this, that, and the other. Like I I rather just let's talk.
Yeah.
You guys post whatever you need to do. Just don't make me look like a jackass.
Yeah.
We're all good. But like that kind of stuff bugs me. It truly is tough. But yeah, man, like even like a little things like I got into auctioneering. So my buddy Reed Lowe, he's an auctioneer. He's like, I'm double booked. You got to do an auction. I'm like, okay. So like years ago, I started doing auctions. And I just go up there and put on like a comedy act and make sure I call people out and raise money. Yeah. And everybody has charity events where you need to raise money for schools, this, golf tournaments, this, that, and the other. So it's like a good little thing. Yeah, have Cam. Cam will do your auction. I'll entertain you guys for 5 hours. Yeah. It's good money too. Yeah. You know, but it's stressful because you got to know what the lineup is and stuff like that. And you could be unorganized and you don't want to make anybody mad. You want to work, you know, they're paying you. Yeah. So, but there's just a lot of little things you could do in this town. So like, is there a specific, and this is more for my information as well, as like, there's a specific business that you're actually running right now, or is there kind of just like, hey, I got like these things going on? Like I was always the Cam and Strick. Okay, that's Andy and I. Yeah, okay. I mean, we know TSN doesn't own us, Barstool doesn't own us, got it. ESPN Radio doesn't own us, Blues don't own us. Got it. Nobody does. That's our own little thing. So it's nice. Yeah. Now we've had companies like, we'll buy you out. We're like, I don't know. Yeah. And then what? Yeah. Like, what if are you going to like tell me what to say? Yeah. Are you going to cut us up and have just so many different like sponsors that we got to be a certain way on different? No, we're good. Yeah. Now, if the money's right, like, of course, we're not there yet. We have a lot of, you know, still building up to YouTube. Like there's a lot we need to do, but it's Andy and I's. And so it just feels good. Like he's my boss. I'm his boss. Like I don't have to deal with that guy who doesn't know a damn thing, you know? Well, I think there's a lot of power in that. Cause I think a lot of people like one you just mentioned of like, hey, there's only very little podcasts that actually make money with it. So many people that listen to my podcast or see me talk about personal branding and building a brand separate from a business, like, oh, I'm going to start a podcast and make so much money with it. And then you do it for a couple episodes and then never do anything with it. You have to have something different. Yeah. There's 2 million podcasts in the United States. I think I read that today. Something like that. 2 million. Okay, whatever. Yeah. But like 0.00. But what are you doing differently? What are you bringing to the table that's different? How are you amusing people? Like they're going to be like, oh, what's he going to say today? Or, you know, like now that we got a nice studio that the camera's on us. You could be more animated. I could like give facial expressions when Andy pisses me off. I could like, look at him. It's just, how are you amusing people? Like, how are you entertaining them? Yeah. They could pick you or go to somewhere else. There's another hockey podcast. So you just got to be different, right? Did you guys like know what your difference was before you started the podcast, or was it kind of like an evolving thing? Yeah, we knew, right? I knew what I was, and I was going to be just like, let's just go. Yeah. And Andy compliments me perfectly. Oh, yeah. He does. So we're completely different. Yeah. But he compliments me. He knows how to get me mad. Yeah. People like when I chirp him. Oh, yeah. So he baits me into it. But it's not fake. So sometimes I do get mad at him. Sometimes he gets mad at me. Like, it's not fake. Yeah. It's not like, hey, this is what we're going to say today. Don't even say anything. We just go. Yeah. We don't even have anything written down. We just go for like 2 hours. And then we have this nice interview, which I do have things written down. Yeah. When you interview people, you need to be organized. Yeah. You know, and you need to let them talk and listen to them. Because a lot of these people, and I've learned this over the years, when you interview somebody and you're like, what's the next thing I'm going to say? No, listen to what he has to say. Or she might say something where you're like, wait a minute, what do you mean by that? And then that goes into what you want. That's what you're trying to find. Yeah. It's not just boom, boom, boom. What are they saying really? And then dig into it. Like, what do you mean by, wait, you did that? Wow. What does that mean? Whoa, blah, blah, blah. Whoa. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Oh yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I've tried to like not have a script for most of the stuff that I do, and it's been so much better from the in the moment stuff, just going back and forth. And I've also been on podcasts where it's like they're like, hey, no, before we get to the end of the podcast, we're going to ask you this, and this, and it's so robotic. It's so robotic, and everybody knows. Yeah, they're out there listening, like come on. Yep. Or the fake laugh. There's just a lot. Yeah. Well, and especially like for the podcast of like, for me, like, you know, we do have a little bit of a niche, but like, I don't have the brand recognition of like the niche down stuff that you guys have. So I may have one opportunity to gain a listener for multiple episodes, but if I screwed up, they're gone. Yeah. They're going to find something else. No. So it's, I'm going to get a podcast. Okay, go ahead. It's a lot more difficult than you think, you know? Yeah. It really is. You got to work hard on it.
It has the ability though, as well as like, so I've been doing this now. So I had a different podcast, funny enough, called Entre Brewer before, where it was literally not drinking beer, but it was talking about just like entrepreneurship and kind of how people get their thing. And then we switched with the name of our new company to Builders of Authority. But I'm coming up on almost 3 years of doing podcast episodes every single Thursday. And so often people are like, well, man, like how much money have you made directly from it? And it doesn't just come from me hosting this podcast, me having you on there, and all of a sudden like money just starts flowing in from actual clients. But a couple weeks ago, I interviewed somebody in person and they just so happened to need a digital marketing agency. And literally he was getting ready to sign like a stupid, ridiculous amount of contract. And we just built a relationship. Like I didn't even know who he was.
There you go.
Less than 2 weeks later, I signed for $100,000 a year. He was going to go spend $300 with another agency in town. And I said, man, like that. But that took 3 years, right? Of like that guy wanting to come on my podcast and doing all that stuff where so many people are like, oh, I'm just going to go record a couple episodes. And then all of a sudden,
I'm going to make it rain.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But you build relationships, you meet new people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what St. Louis is cool too, because it's big enough. There's still a lot of money here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people own businesses and a lot of people are cool.
Yeah.
They're down to earth, middle of Missouri, Midwest type of, we kind of all grew up the same kind of way. And, a lot of guys do. Yeah. And so you meet people and they're like, man, I might need you for this. Mm-hmm. How about I pay you for this? Or how about we collaborate in this? Yeah. There's just a lot of opportunity because a lot of people know each other. It's not too big. Mm-hmm. There's not too many, you don't have actor, you have enough money, but everybody's pretty blue collar, down to earth. And everybody's trying to help each other too. So like you can help each other. It's not competitive. Yeah. Me and you aren't competing. Yeah. We're helping each other. We're meeting new people. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's enough listeners out there. Mm-hmm. It's not a competitive thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
yeah. So what have you kind of like focused on? Obviously, like you talked about the podcast stuff, some of this other stuff you guys are doing with the YouTube. Like what are you looking to do in the future? Are you kind of just like, man, I'm loving life right now?
You want the pod to be the most successful thing because we own it.
Yeah.
Now, if the Blues want to hire me to keep doing things and wherever that morphs into, could it be radio? Radio could morph into something different because everything changes. I just want to be in the mix with them. Mm-hmm. I love the people down there.
Yeah.
I love all the alumni. All we do is hang out.
Yeah.
We'll be with a couple guys today. Mm-hmm. We have so much fun together. And so like, it's a lot of travel and stuff like that, but I don't have kids. And it's a good way to build your brand to be with a company like that. You know what I mean? So like I got it. So if they want me to do something like I'm going to put my head down and do what they want me to do. But I still want to keep my little side gigs too, in case things they fall apart or whatever, or if I don't like it, then I just have this and really no stress. Now that's a lot more stress.
Yeah.
I got bosses now. Yeah. I got to make sure, I say the right thing. Like the pod, I could kind of do my thing. That kind of, you just don't want to piss anybody off. Okay. Yeah. You got to be entertaining and not really piss people off. How do you do that? It's difficult. Mm-hmm. It is. Or you just, I like to be goofy. That doesn't make people mad. But we do get political and stuff like that too, but there's a way to talk about it. There's a way not to put people down or act like you're smart or you're dumb or these guys are that. Everybody's got their own opinion. So everything's a balancing act, dude. It really is. Because you could be crazy and get eyes, but then people are gonna be like, "We screw you, dude. No, you're too much."
Yeah.
So you got to balance things.
Yeah. I love it. What advice would you give to somebody that's just like, hey, I'm going all in on my brand. Like maybe I've worked for somebody else before.
What do you do? What do you do? Like, what are you? It's hard to answer that.
Yeah.
What are you?
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm just saying anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah.
What are you good at? Let me listen to your personality. Oh, dude, you can go you could talk to anybody. Like you walking into a place right now where if you had to talk to a couple women about something, they would probably look at you like, oh, this guy seems like a lovely human being. Yeah. Like, you got a good smile. You got a lovely head of hair. Yeah, you seem like a smart guy. Yeah. You're sweet. Like if I'd be comfortable around you, take advantage of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
take advantage of that. Yeah. I can't tell you. I don't know who you are. Like if you brought a guy in, he explained his story. I'm like, dude, this is what you need to do, homie. Yeah. Now I get to know you a little bit. So find out what you're good at. Why do people like you?
Yeah.
What is that? Figure that out and put it together somehow.
So Corey and I just had a podcast before, and we had a very similar, like, I asked him a similar question. He was kind of saying the same thing. It's like so often, especially right now, like you're talking about with the viewers or the followers on social media. Like if Cam wanted to go do that, he could go do that, but that's not Cam. And so often people are trying to, like, I'm not going to say keep up with the Joneses, but like keep up with the influencer style of this stuff. I know people with hundreds of thousands and millions of followers on social media, but their business is doing nothing. And that vanity metric is not making them any money. And so often I think people are trying to go for the shiny object with this stuff and not just focusing on like, what do I actually want out of this?
Well, did they pay for the followers?
It could also be that,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you got 1 million followers because you did it from the ground up, if you're not monetizing that, I don't know what your deal is.
Yeah.
Seriously. Think about that.
Yeah. Well,
we don't have 1 million followers and we're monetizing what the cult following that we have. Cult, I shouldn't say it. They kind of are. They love. It is. That's what you want. You want people to follow you and listen to and they're like craving when you post things.
Yeah.
They're craving it. If you have 1 million of those and you're not monetizing it, I do not know what your deal is.
Yeah.
But people pay.
Yeah.
And you just all of a sudden somebody just clicks and they forgot to unfollow you, but you just build that up, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Well, I think it kind of goes to just the quality of everything over the quantity. Like I just exited an agency earlier this year where it was like, man, we did 5x the revenue, but profited a lot less. And I had a lot more headaches and a lot more issues doing that. Whereas right now it's like, we're just now getting to $1 million. I have 5 employees versus 150. I have 25 clients versus 500.
There it is.
And it's like, okay, I'm almost making more money myself right now than I did at 4.5 million.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you could balance that, dude. Now it's because you can't be stressed. Why? People just want to make money, but you're stressed out and you're gone all the time. Like, I know like people, they got 5 kids and a lovely wife and a ton of money that they don't even need to work, but they can't help themselves. They just work. I'm like, don't you want to chill? Like, don't you want to, isn't there like a reason why you want to work? Not just to work. I want to work so I could sit in my lovely house with my puppies and Kate. And I want to make homemade chicken noodle soup and do whatever I want. Oh, you want to go out to eat tonight? We can do whatever the hell we want. You want to go here? You want to, go to Florida? And that's what I like.
Yeah.
I want to build it up, but not be too involved, not to be too just like, like just your schedule is so crazy to where you can't enjoy life. Like, what's the point of that then?
Well, like I was joking with people a couple weeks ago because I gave a talk in Florida and I was like, this is going to be one of my last traveling talks for a very long time because I went from medical device sales. I was selling CPAP equipment.
Good money right there.
Good money. I made $200. The website, how to rank the website and rank a Google business profile in 2018, went full-time in 2020 in the midst of the pandemic. But then for the last 3.5 years, I just kept building. And I was traveling just as much as I was before because I wanted to go get the next client. I had the fear of missing out. I had all that stuff. And I was chasing top line revenue, the Inc. 5000, all the stupid shit that I told myself I was never going to do. But you get that like just adrenaline rush where you're like going and do it. And then having a kid and realizing like, oh shit, going through an exit in a partnership, you're like, okay, I did all this shit that I said I wasn't going to do. And now I did it again. You kind of got to catch yourself.
Yep. And like my dad, then they went through some stressful finances. Like anytime you're a kid and your mom and dad are fighting about money, it's got awful. And we're not that bad. Like we're not bad, but compared to hardcore stuff. But I remember that. And I remember like, that's because of me, because we're traveling everywhere. Like it's a horrible, horrible feeling. But my dad was on every road trip. If he wasn't, because he's working so much, I don't know if I'd be able to maintain everything. Like every time I saw him in the stands, he'd give me that look, let's go, baby. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get somebody tonight. Like I put on a show for all these scouts because my dad like really helped. My dad was there. Yeah. Like it really, really did. So like, man, your kids, they need you around, dude. I don't even have kids. And I know my wife needs me around. She doesn't want me gone all the damn time. Like she just, you know what I mean? Not to mention if they're playing hockey, like, I don't know, man. There's a balance to everything. You don't want to overwork yourself. I know you got to make as much money as possible because you never know what's going to happen. World War III might go down. You know, the economy might crash again. It's this, that, and the other. Who the hell knows? So you want to have that nest egg. Yeah. But you also got to be around your family too. You need your kids. They need to see their daddy.
Yeah.
They do, man. If he wasn't around, I'd be so messed up.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You know,
this was an awesome episode, Cam. I know
I can talk to you for whatever you want to do.
I know, but I know. I mean, we've been going, but anything else that you would like to just like share about kind of like stuff you've learned, more so of like, I think like you have an interesting take of like, I didn't go to school. I didn't go to college. I didn't like go work in corporate America. I played professional sports, and now I'm seeing
that's corporate,
like,
but
yeah, for
it's corporate.
Instance, yeah. But so I think like what you said earlier though about like how you view people that are just working for those things, like anything else you would share, just like that you can see from maybe not having the traditional life after high school.
Go meet people and talk to people and be nice to them, and you will realize how many people could help you in so many different ways in this little town of ours in St. Louis. Just introducing yourself at different events and asking questions. Like, I'd be like, what do you do? Interesting. Oh, you do that? Wow. What do you mean? And then they're like, wow, okay. Like, he's interested when I'm saying to him. And like, you just never know who you're going to meet, what the next thing is. All these millionaires and billionaires, like in college, if I had kids, I'd be like, if you're in college, like, don't hang out with the party guy. The girls are going to come, dude. They'll be there. What's that little nerdy boy doing that's studying all the time, that's building some sort of company? Go talk to him. Just pick his brain. Go to these smart guys. Yeah. These nice, smart guys that maybe some people think they're nerdy or whatever. I don't give a damn. Go talk to them and be nice to them and pick their big brain and meet up with them. That's how companies start, man. You meet with somebody that's maybe a little different than you. You could do your part, like whatever Andy's different than me. I went to him. I go, we need to meet up. Because I knew he knows how to make deals. He knows how to do this. It was perfect for me. So just be nice to people. Introduce yourself to people. If you're a businessman, that's what you do. Yeah. You talk to people in this town, and you never know who you're going to meet, what they got going, and how they could help you or help each other. Yeah. I know it sounds simplistic, but I'm just telling you.
Yeah. I mean, it is simplistic, but I also think it's like I look back and somebody said something very like similar to me recently where I was like, man, like I'm not going to say I threw away my like 4.5 years in college, but like I was a terrible college soccer player because all I did was go out and find the people to party with and do all this shit. I was throwing the parties. I was doing all this shit. Yep. And then you look at these other people and you're like, man, if I would have just like, I knew that guy had it.
Yes.
And he's
$100 million.
Yeah. I know. Like, man, I had that opportunity. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, yeah. but you try to, and I think you just did a perfect job of kind of summarizing a lot of stuff. Like, I try to pass down what I would have obviously wanted to know going and doing that. Like, I went to Vianney and I spoke to the senior class on Monday, and all these kids are like sleeping in class. And, I'm like, literally like, guys, I don't mean to like toot my own horn, but like I've built some stuff. And then when I started showing pictures and revenue, all these kids started perking up. I was like, yeah, but if I didn't say that, and I didn't go say, hey, I was in your shoes sleeping in class, taking those people not seriously, like, you now have an opportunity to change that trajectory. And I think like so often is people just don't take action on like listening to those people or even asking, right? Like, Cam, what would you do differently? 100,000 things.
I mean, not that I would like go get my education. No, well, there's a lot of stuff I was obsessed with hockey, and I knew I was going to make it. Mm-hmm. I did. Yeah. I knew when I was young, I was.
That's probably crazy.
It was really weird, very confident, but I swear to God, I just knew, and I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. So I just kind of like, I didn't care. My mom and dad didn't even care because they knew how determined they knew I was gone to go to Canada, still in high school, to leave the country, like everyone's like, where is he going? Canada. I just had to do what I had to do. Yeah. But yeah, like you just meet people, educate yourself too. Like you have everything in front of you. Know what's bullshit, know what's not. Yeah. Educate yourself on what's going on. Always know what's going on around, your city. Where some of this money's going. Just know what's going on in St. Louis. Know the vibe. Read the paper. Yeah. I still go get the paper every morning, and a lot of it's crap. And I know who all the writers anyway. They're all cool. But I'm just curious. What's going on?
Yeah.
Where's this going? Where's that Rams money going? What's up with that? It's good to know. If you're doing work in St. Louis, you got to know what's going on. I know there's a billion municipalities. It's hard to keep up with everything, but just don't be aloof to things.
Yeah. Well, I think like you mentioned earlier, like, man, if I could just go back and ask my history teacher about this, I think like, again, it's kind of one of those things where we don't appreciate what we have in the moment until we're either much older or until it's gone.
I cared, but I was so obsessed with hockey. And girls, I just, none of that. But then I get older. I'm like, I'm obsessed with history. I love it. I love reading about castles and, just the interesting, landmarks I've seen over the years traveling. I'm like, what is that? Let me look that up. We're like, oh, wow, 1500s it was built. Oh, it took 24 years. Oh, the king's wife killed herself when she jumped off. Like this, I don't know. That to me is so interesting. But then I got to watch hockey every single night and know every single player. Yeah. And so I have to balance that. So I can't be, that's like number one. Yeah. I can't work for Chris Kerber and do a game. Yeah. I'm like, I didn't know what happened last game. Like, I got to know what's going on with that.
So do you look at the game then now differently, obviously, I'm assuming, because you're looking at it from that aspect, or is it kind of just like,
the game's pretty cool right now.
Oh, it's awesome.
There's fights, there's hits, there's whatever. It's skilled as hell.
Yeah.
It's fast. It's cool. Do I miss like the big time heavies? Like when I played, and I was the last era of the big boys. Yeah. Where we go in town and like, oh, Cam's gonna fight McGrath tonight, baby, let's go. Which is, guaranteed.
Do you guys had that like pre-planned?
Oh yeah.
I'll give you an
example.
Obviously.
I'd be in warm-ups, no bucket, spinning my stick at the red line. I look at me, we gonna do this, boy? We gonna do it? All right, let's go. So then we get out of warm-ups, come back. Wait, I'm looking at whoever my coach is. Like, here he is. Let's go. Let me get the fans into it. Yeah. And so we go out there and like, wow. Rob, I'm like, all right, let's go. I mean, it's all on YouTube. You want to check that out? Like, it's all there. But it's just like, let's go. Let's get this going. Don't get knocked out.
Those are definitely the days. Yeah. Now we took my son to his first game 2 weeks. So I guess it was been about 2 weeks ago. They were up on the Bruins and then they lost, but we saw a fight like pretty early on, and I mean, like we were only in the 300 level, but it was just like electric, like how like I remember that as a kid.
Oh God,
seeing that at the games and just being like, man, like if nothing else, I remember this.
Well, I remember my dad took me down the glass, and I saw Brett Hall dominating in the early 90s, and I'm like, oh my God, I love him. Then I saw Tony Twist, piss pump. This guy, and he's got no jersey on, and he's skating to the penalty box, and he's got that tattoo, and he's jacked, and he sits down, and all the women are going crazy. They're like, ah, and I'm like, I want to be that. That is exactly what. And Twister's going to be here today too. That's my boy, and that's how I'm like, I want to be him.
Yeah,
like. I want to be that guy that's scary. Everybody's scared of him. Like, what is going on? But the women love him. Yeah, I'm like, that's a great balance.
Yeah. Like, and then you probably talk to him, and he's just like most down to earth guy.
He's the funniest. He's so hard, but he's still scary now.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that.
Although we got our nails painted the other day at a spa. They did a commercial for Chaser's Spa.
Oh, nice.
And I think Twister got into an altercation in a road rage, and the guys were like, you do got painted nails. I see the way you look. I think you're Tony Twist. I'm not messing with you. You're extra scary with the painted nails. Yeah, I had to rip those damn things off with my teeth. It was just horrible.
That's awesome, man. Well, Cam, thank you so much for coming on, man. Where can people stay connected with you, get linked up with the podcast, all that good stuff?
I mean, Twitter's Cam Janssen 25. My Instagram's Cam Janssen 25. You type in my name on Facebook. I got my personal account. And then I got a fan account, and then Cam Strict Podcast. Type that in anywhere. Conversations. Type that in with a punchline, and then of course, I'll be going on these trips in all December. If you guys want to listen to the radio, me and Chris Kerber calling the games, and what else? I don't know. You want my address? I'll give it to you. No, just look it up, dude. You guys will find everything. It is what it is.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much.
No problem, buddy.
And thanks again to our title sponsor, Go High Level. Without them, we aren't able to produce the quality of content or have amazing guests on like we did today with Cam. Check out a free and extended 30-day trial in the show notes. Make sure as well to leave us a 5-star review, making a big push for reviews to end this year. And it definitely helps move the needle. And remember, authority isn't built overnight. It's built over time.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, friends.